I want to go on a little bit of a rant here. I just had some coffee, so the caffeine is definitely going to help with that. And I want to get something off my chest. I'm feeling argumentative and philosophical, so let's get right into it. With regards to what's been happening over the last few weeks, addressing systemic racism, police brutality, the accomplishments of Black Lives Matter, which is a very important movement, by the way. I've been noticing Karl Marx's name come up a lot more often. And usually it's in discussions with people that I know and friends. And then on the other end, on, social media threads where it's usually people who don't know any better, trying to discredit the legitimacy of Black Lives Matter by calling it a Marxist movement, or saying things like it has its roots in Marxism. And, my first question is usually, okay, well, what aspects of Marxist theory does Black Lives Matter have its roots in? What parts of Marxist philosophy is Black Lives Matter rooted in? And all of a sudden, these people just sort of unfold. They have no idea what to say. They just start beating their chest and raising their voice, talking about how communism bad, socialism evil, look at what's happening in Venezuela. And they try to overwhelm the conversation with sound bites and facts that they've read or heard. And it really just doesn't get us anywhere. You're really just at that point forcing me and others to sit back and watch you stroke yourself. Nobody wants to see that. Just keep that private. Not that there's anything wrong with stroking yourself, but we don't want to see it. Okay? I have a master's in philosophy, and I've studied Marx. And there's a lot of Marx out there. What I know about him amounts to maybe 15, maybe 20% if I'm really trying to be generous with myself. And I know enough to know that in order for me to understand his writing, I usually have to read like 2 or 3 different interpretations of the text. I have to check multiple sources, and then also talk to people who know a lot more about the subject matter than I do to bounce my ideas off of them and make sure that what I'm understanding is the way it is and I'm not wrong. And I've been wrong often. I get checked, which is great because that's how I want to learn. I want to know, right? And I can't know if I'm just sitting back thinking I'm going to do it myself, which is what most people will do. They'll sit and read a couple of articles on Google, watch a couple of videos on YouTube, and then God forbid maybe even listen to crappy garbage lectures by Jordan Peterson where he talks about Marxism and Marxist theory. He doesn't know what he's talking about anyway. And then they'll come around talking as if they have any authority or understanding about the subject matter, right? How many books do you think the average person has on Marx? How many books do you have on Marx? Go check. I'll wait. Make sure you check between your books on Deepak Chopra and Paulo Coelho. That's my point. What these people are engaged in is not the pursuit of truth or expanding their knowledge base. It's confirmation bias. They come at the material with pre-existing beliefs, biases, misunderstandings, and they look for material to affirm those pre-existing beliefs, biases, and misunderstandings. That's not how you search for truth. If you're really interested in it, by all means, do your reading, watch the videos, but then engage in conversations with people who know a lot more about the subject matter than you do. These are people who've basically, they've dedicated their lives to studying this material. They have PhDs in philosophy and political science and social justice theory, where they've studied Marxist theory and communism and capitalism and socialism and democracy, and have written extensively on it and have been to enough conferences, and they still have arguments and disagreements amongst each other about how to interpret the text. So don't tell me that, because you've read a couple of articles or you've watched a couple of videos that you have any sort of authority or understanding about Marxism or Marxist theory. You familiar with the Dunning-Kruger effect? That's where you basically convince yourself you're smarter than you actually are because you've read a bunch of stuff on a particular subject matter. So do us a favor and just shut up. Stop talking about it. Don't even use terms like communism and socialism. Don't even use Karl Marx's name. Unless it's in the form of a question, asking about how to understand that subject matter more. Hopefully from someone who's studied the material for a really long time. Think about it. Peace.